If anybody has anything going on in the background, then cut it. All right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome, 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 everyone, to the Tipping Point Show. Folks, I'm so excited because this week we have a special guest. I want to introduce my people that are here with me. Mr. John Yah, how you doing there, brother?
I'm good, brother. How about yourself?
All right, all right. I am fantastic. I appreciate you asking. And then we have Miss Johnny Rose. Johnny, you there? All right. All right. Johnny hasn't called in yet, but she will here shortly. All right. So, John Yah, we got an exciting show today, don't we?
Man, we sure do, man. We sure do. I can't wait to get it on.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we have a new co-host with us, and this is a new show, folks. You guys have heard myself and John Yah in the past as we were on the Man Up Radio show, and as that ended, we came together to start a new venture called the Tipping Point Radio. Is that Johnny Rose with us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Absolutely, Johnny Rose. How are you doing there?
Hey, I'm good. How are you all?
Fantastic, fantastic. So Johnny Rose she has a background in journalism and everything, and she's going to be working with us as our third leg here on the show. How you doing today? Hey, we are. We're absolutely fantastic. And you know what? I want to kind of jump in because at 9:30 we have our special guest calling in, and some of you know this brother, and some of you don't. But we will introduce you to him today if you haven't heard of him. With that in mind, then, you know, Johnny, we have something that we wanted to talk about, and I think you kind of dug in and did some research on it. So right now we're going to have Johnny on the spot, news you can use. Go ahead and give us something there, Miss Johnny.
So the first thing, let's discuss the Gorilla Glue girl. How do you all feel about that? Her name is Jessica Brown. She is the one who got Gorilla Glue adhesive and actually put it in her hair.
Okay, now hold on. You said the young lady's name was Testicle? Okay. Tessica. Okay, Tessica Brown. And this young lady put some Gorilla Glue, you know, the adhesive. I mean, because I use Gorilla Glue. I go to the hardware store, I buy it, you know, and anything that I need, I mean, if I want to stick two cars together, I spray some Gorilla Glue and it'll keep those two cars stuck together. So she put this stuff in her hair.
Going out for a day on the lake, and she wanted to take care of her quiet lake, and she didn't know that it would pretty much be cemented on her scalp. So she ended up spraying on her head, and it was in her hair for about a month.
Okay, so this young lady went around with hair, and you know, and that's gonna lead me into something, because I'm trying to think, because that, you know, I start to think about what women do to look good on a daily basis, you know, and so, you know, you said this young lady, she sprayed this on her head. Now that had to be like a helmet on her head.
Yeah, it was actually a helmet. She could not get it off of her head. She had to actually get it surgically removed, actually by a celebrity surgeon who goes by the name of Dr. Umar, and he actually performed that surgery for free.
Wow, That's pretty amazing. So she sprayed some Gorilla Glue. Now what is now? I'm just curious now because again, women go through a lot when it comes to looking good on a day-to-day basis. Now, I've always said that women don't do it for men. Women do it because they're in competition with other women, you know. But when you look at that, what does that say about a person to go through the lengths of that? I mean, why would she use Gorilla Glue? I don't get it.
She had no other option. Allegedly, she had seen the Gorilla Glue adhesive spray on the top of the refrigerator, and she just thought that it would work. And so she went.
Well, why would she? I mean, do women use adhesive spray in their hair normally? Is there another brand that looks just like that? I mean, why would she use that?
I don't, but I'm sure there's other women who do go to extreme lengths. It just so happens that Jessica Brown went to an extreme length that she ended up actually raising. Let's talk about this. She raised $23,893 on her GoFundMe page to get that removed.
Yeah, but I heard that the doctor did it for free.
Exactly. It ended up being for free. So as of yesterday, it was under investigation. And so after that investigation, as of yesterday, basically, she got the money and she is donating it to charity.
Okay, so she is donating the money to charity. That's good. Because I was concerned about that part as to whether or not. Okay, so but what does that say? The lengths that women go through. I mean, you know, I heard when I was looking at some of the comments and stuff, you know, people started talking about self-hate and the self-image that we as a people have for ourselves. So, I mean, what do y'all think about that, John? You understand? What are you saying, Johnny? Okay, so you just think that this was just a happenstance, accidental thing that happened, you know, no big deal. John, yeah, what do you think about it?
You know, this is what you call the results of years and years, hundreds of years of subliminal messages that we have been receiving. If you go all the way back to the ancient time of Kemet, the Greeks and the Romans would destroy the image of the black image off the nose of the Sphinx and knock off the lips of the Sphinx. Fast forward to a few hundred years later, they created a concept called Jesus, and it was a white man, and it was actually the story of Harut. And so then you have Isis who's married now, and then they make him white. So we grab onto these subliminal messages, and now look at in the 1970s, no, in the 1700s, black women were forbidden to wear their hair in public. Why? Because the hair is a symbol of power. And so, if in the 60s, a child would choose a white doll over a black doll, and say the black doll's ugly, it's got nappy hair, and the white doll's cute.
I remember seeing that study. They did that in schools, I think. I remember seeing that study. They had the little kids, and I mean, you know, kids are so innocent. I can remember when I asked my children, they were probably maybe 5 years old, something like that, and you know, asked them what color is daddy, what color is mommy, and they said daddy was beige, and they said mommy was brown. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, that was their response. But, you know, here you take a study and you put light colored dolls or even pictures of light colored people in a spectrum all the way down to the darker complexion. And the children, when you ask them who's the bad person, they choose the dark person, because society has told us that if someone looks dark and mysterious, then they are of issue in society.
And see, so there is a self-conscious awareness of not liking who we are naturally. To the point, I'm not gonna let the men get away with this either, because men are starting to put makeup on their face and their hair.
Oh man. Oh man.
If you pay close attention, these are images that when you look in the mirror, when you look at the mirror at your natural self, there's something you see you do not like. And mainly it is the images that are portrayed to us on television and the movies that we're trying to chase. You got women now wearing 2 inches eyelashes and
oh my God, look like spiders just hanging off the eyelids. You know, people and the eyelashes be waving at you and whatnot. I mean, you know, it's like you walk down the street and the eyelashes just wave first. I mean, I didn't seen it, man, and it's kind of crazy. And you're right when you talk about the men. You know, and we can't let the men get away because now Beijing, yeah, y'all brothers know what I'm talking about. You know, you go to. I remember the first time. Look, I went and I ended up getting hit with some spray. I think I was in probably Baltimore, Maryland, or Philly, but it was the dopest haircut I ever got, and I didn't realize until the end that when that dude was spraying stuff, I thought he was spraying like oil sheen, you know, make my hair shiny at the end of it. But nah, this brother was spraying some straight up some type of dark colored spray that made my hairline. It's like he filled in any gaps and made my hairline just crisp. Gave me that Steve Harvey cut. You know what I mean? So, you know, us guys, and you know, I see some guys. I think, you know, I'm looking out and on the Facebook world and looking at our live, and some guys getting a little heated with that right there. But you know, it's a trip when you think about that. But you know, we're doing it too, and so that makes me think about, you know, when I talk about self-hate, self-image, you know, of our people and our community. Then what's up with this Harriet Tubman $20 bill thing? What's going on with that? Because, you know, apparently it was, I think, the Obama administration, you know, once again, to pander to us black folk, right? To us American descendants of slaves, to us African Americans, whatever you want to call us. You know, I know the whole world is confused trying to figure out what to call us. My name is Joe, by the way. Y'all can just call me Joe. But with that in mind, the Obama administration is putting the Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. And then I think it supposedly got shut down during the Trump administration. And then once again, it's being brought back out as the Dems have made their way. And now we putting the $20, the Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. You know, can we get some Photoshop on that? Because, you know, that's I mean, it's not the happiest looking picture of a black woman to, you know. That's natural. That's real natural right there. You right. I mean, I take natural with some lipstick. You know, can we merge it? You know, just the little touches, the small touches. We don't need all the extra. You know, I think most guys, honestly, are not as concerned about all the extra. You know, I think most men, and most of the men that women really want, real men, are not concerned with all the extra. Like, you don't need, you know, give me some, you know, a little, if you want to do a little foundation, you know, or just some lotion and some lip gloss. I mean, I'm fine with that, honestly. Lotion and lip gloss. Just, you know, put a little oil on your face, some lip gloss, and we good, you know. I don't know.
Right, well, so let me say this, is that it stems from a low self-esteem of who you are. And so when men go for women and put all that on, he's seeking a low self-esteem woman, number one, right? But what we're failing to look at is the chemicals that are in these products and what it's doing. When you think about somebody that's putting makeup on their face, they're trying to cover their natural look because they don't like what they see, but they're not paying attention that it's on the inside. You do not know, a lot of people do not know what the chemicals that are in this stuff, mercury, metal, placenta, and all types of chemicals, and this is absorbing into the skin. And then the liver's got to process this chemical, right? So it is lowering your birth rate in women. It is lowering their fertility in women to be able to have healthy babies. And so we don't care. We don't worry about that. We just want to do anything to make us look like the image that we want to see on television. And that's where we are. If you look at the Harriet Tubman Tubman issue is kind of different. Harriet Tubman is supposed to look rough. She's supposed to look hard. What woman in those days was wearing makeup, number one. But let's say this. This is called pleasing black people with just crumbs by putting that black woman on a $20 bill, which ain't worth nothing anyway. And I think it's an insult. But let's say this. Listen, with all these years of abuse, over and over, hundreds of years of abuse, we are people that love our oppressors. Do you know you can...
Hold on. You saying we love our... You saying we love our oppressors? You know, you said that before, John. You said that before. You said that black people have a secret love affair with the white man.
With the white man, exactly. And listen, though, an old man told me that if you take a chicken and you pluck all its feathers there and you leave it bleeding and hurting, and all that owner got to do is sprinkle some crumbs, and that chicken will follow him and be his best friend. This is what you have today, right? So, you know, what is stimulus package? We don't want to pay attention to how they got us in these conditions. We don't want to talk about that. What we want to do is just say, please love us. Please just accept us.
You know what? That's kind of like the battered wife syndrome, honestly. I mean, you know, they put us ultimately, you know, in this situation. Now, yes, it's up to us to get out. I'm all about self responsibility and all that. But yeah, they put us here, and then, you know, so they smacked us around, they beat us like a pimp, and then, you know, they come give us a hug and say I love you at the same time, and go put us on back out on the street, make that money.
We don't want to get away from white people. We just want them to treat us better. You see, hundreds of years of mistreatment over and over again. We just want to be accepted and be at their table. We don't want our own table. When you think about it, look at the riots. What do we tear up? We tear up our stuff. We don't tear up their stuff, right? So we take our money when integration came, and we left the black community, and we started spending our money with white men, right? Because we think his ice is colder. We think his doctors are better. We think his dentists are better. His forward. So we leave our office to go over there. That is a symbol of self-hate that's still going on today, right now today. And by the way, that test with dogs, they just did that test a few months ago, and black children are still picking the white dog as the prettiest dog.
Man, now that right there is deep. There's deep. That, you know, we still doing that years later. But I mean, that's indicative of everything going on, right? I mean, here it is, 50 years later, we still voting Democrat. As a people, we still vote Democrat. You know, now what's amazing to me is, I mean, I didn't vote Trump because I like Trump. I voted Trump because I'm tired of continually doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So that vote for Trump was not a vote for Trumpism. You know, yeah, he's nuts and he does stupid stuff, says stupid things and things of that nature. But think about it. What alternative did we really have? I mean, you're talking about 50 years later, and we still got cops' knees on neck 50 years later. We still dealing with that, and hands in pockets looking at you like, I did it. What you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? That was the look that man had on his face. So 50 years later, this is where we got to. And when I look right now at the Biden administration and their first 100 days, they ain't talking about nothing. They ain't talking about nothing as it pertains to us. I mean, you had the whole world screaming out hashtag George Floyd, right? And the whole world protested. Here it is in their first 100 days, and the number one thing on your agenda is not race relations. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
come on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yet again.
And if you look at it, that whole protest, we always do it every 4 years. The whole protest and all that energy was only passed on to the Democrats. And what did they do for us? Put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. I mean, come on, for real. That's supposed to raise self-image. If this country, it says "In God We Trust" on there. Why don't they put a picture of white Jesus on there? I mean, like, that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. They don't really believe themselves. You're right. They really don't. You know.
So what do you all think that? Can you all hear me?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. So do you all feel that when it comes to Harriet Tubman versus putting a white Jesus on the $20 bill, wouldn't a white Jesus be more acceptable since he's been around longer?
I guess he would be more acceptable. You know, he would be more acceptable.
To everyone in the world.
Yeah, because
To me, the white man they got on there originally is no different than Jesus.
so let's look at that. You put Harriet Tubman on there. So I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get black people to save more money. That's what they're trying to do. Because if you put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill, now we're not gonna spend the 20s. We're gonna save them because we're gonna save them. We're gonna put them under the mattress because we want to save all the $20 bills because later they're gonna be worth something. See, so you know what? It's a good thing, y'all. It's a good thing that they put in the Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill because now black people are going to be saving more $20 bills than ever before. And now the wealth gap between the white household and the black household will now decrease because the numbers will go up because black people have more wealth because they put the Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill in the midst of a cashless coming society. And you know what? Phyllis said something that I think is awesome. She says, another empty distraction. So anytime something like this pops out, I'm always looking around the corner. What you think is around the corner? Anybody got any ideas? What's going on in the other hand as they throwing this hand out?
Push us to stand in line and get that vaccine so they can have more control over people. Exactly, right?
Okay.
Because who they want to vaccine the most? Black people. This is why the image is everywhere, right? There is an experiment going on, and we are openly accepting the experiment. So
you think that, you know, and I see some people out there say socialism, you know, and of course the alternative, someone else said, is to hold your vote, you know, and you know, and there's talk amidst that as well about all of us when it comes to voting, registering as independents, right? More of us, because right now 97% of us vote Democrat, and we've been doing that for many years. You know, again, it's definitely a showcase that more of us are looking to. We love that battered wife syndrome. You know, we like getting beat, smacked around, and then told "I love you." You know, not a real "I love you," not the showcase "I love you," but the fake, you know, pimp. Let me beat you first and then hug you. I love you. That's what it feels like when you really start thinking about that. You know, people are saying that this is the new plantation. You know, I mean, we're sitting here getting ready to go into a cashless society, and all of a sudden they want to put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. Some people said, hey, that's going to be great for the young man, the young woman that picks up that $20 bill and sees that slave, Harriet Tubman, on there. Like, hey, what? I mean, it might be inspirational if they put her on there and keep the shotgun image. You know, her with the shotgun.
Yeah, exactly. That would be cool. But listen, though, these images, we are visual people. These images are trigger points for us, right? This is why they will continue to play on the news of someone black getting shot. They will continue to show on the news. These are trigger points. We don't get the point that how they are using these triggers to get our emotionally upset, right? As long as we are emotionally upset, we cannot improve our individual life with anger, emotion. So they're going to keep throwing it in our face every time you turn the corner. There's a slavery movie. New slavery movie is always coming out. A lot of people love slavery movies, by the way. I don't get why a black person would want to hold that image pour their image into their subconscious brain and allow their children to watch it. There is no real need or benefit sitting around watching the slaves. Why don't we make a movie about Master Musa? Why don't we make a movie about rulers? Why don't we make a movie about the Moors that had white people enslaved, right? Why don't we see those type of images so that we can have a new look of ourselves? But again, pay close attention to what they did back in the days in the Sphinx. What the Romans did. To do what? To destroy the black image. It's still going on today. We see even Elvis Presley singing black songs, but it looks like it's he wrote, right? To increase those sales. And that's exactly what we're doing today.
Man, I tell you what, more. So go ahead, Johnny.
Go ahead. Okay, so what would be the solution? I know that within a lot of stuff, we always talk about the same issue, but what is one solution that we should all come to get out of this 400 year thing that we've been into for 400 years? What can we do? Is there anything?
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you this. There is 3 major issues that we cannot give up these 3 hurdles. We will never change our condition. The number 1, we won't give up the European, our oppressor's religion. We won't give it up. That's number 1. Number 2, we will not give up the foods that we eat. We won't change our diet. We won't eat based on season. We continue to eat junky foods. We continue to be the highest in blood pressure and diabetes. And number 3, we won't turn off the television image. We will continue to allow them to program us over and over again. We won't turn it off. So we'll continue to watch these movies. We'll continue to eat this crappy food. And if you do not give up those 3, you can't change your life. In fact, you will remain a servant for the rest of this time and not being able to advance your own individual life.
You know, it would take people opening up a book and reading and researching. I think a trip is in order. If somebody wanted to take a trip, because I've been thinking about this, somebody wanted to take a trip, and our guest that's coming up here shortly, he himself was talking about all of us taking a trip over to Africa. What would be the thing that we would need to see? Is it the pyramids? Because I hear on the inside of the pyramids, there's a whole lot of our story rather than his story that's in there. Would that be a good trip? Where would we need to go in Africa?
Well, that would be a great trip because right now they are still messing with and tampering with those images right now today. So, but we have to recognize who we are individually within ourselves. Listen to this. Listen to the words American descendant of slave. Listen that if you accept that concept, that's a low vibrational concept. Why would you consider yourself a slave, number 1? Why can't you see yourself an American descendant of royalty? Why do we put that on ourselves? And that is the problem, because we don't see ourselves as greater than slaves. We feel like we're stuck. Not further than America and what America made us. America made us Negroes. It's just that simple. They made us slaves, and we accept that concept. Now we embrace it. We embrace it, and now we want to call ourselves an American descendant of a slave. That's a concept. We got to get beyond and above that.
So what would you think that we should be called then?
Listen, let me tell you this. Do you know, you understand the melanin code? You understand that you are actually a god. The darker you are, the more human you are. The lighter you are, the less human you are. We understood those concepts, we would change the whole dynamics of what we think of ourselves. If we understood the melanin code, the EU melanin, not male melanin, because melanin ain't worth a dime. But EU melanin is sold on the stock market way more than gold. There's white people that would shoot up EU melanin to make their skin dark to protect them from the sun. If we knew our value, if we only knew our value, we could overcome all this.
Wow. Hey, make sure real quick, John, y'all make sure you're reaching out to our guests to make sure that they are calling in, and Jerry, be on the lookout for that call coming in shortly. Should be coming in.
I need
to clear that, Jerry, clear that line, because I need my guest calling in at 9:30.
Okay, I'm waiting on your guest. I haven't called yet. Okay, hold on. Let me them now.
All right.
I'll let you know in just a second.
Well, look, real quick, I want to give a shout out. All right. I want to give a shout out to a couple people that are helping us out this week, sponsors of the show. One amazing sponsor this week is Saya Baba. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but Saya Baba, and that's sayababa.com, SYABA.com, SYABABA.com. I apologize. That's Bibi Toomey Trading Company, the home of Saya Baba and Soap Sticks products. Yes, sir. All right, our guest is called in, and real quick, before I introduce our next guest, then I want to go ahead and finish up. Saya Baba Soap Sticks products are in over 400 locations at a store near you. They can also be found at, again, www.sayababa.com, and that is owned by yours truly, Mr. John Ya, and that is your incense line. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That sure is.
That's definitely a story that y'all got to catch about how this brother came from where he was to now in over 400 locations with his incense. He went from being on the corner selling it to being in just about every store in the tri-state area. I also want to give one more shout out to Health Daddy Wow. And again, that's www.healthdaddywow.net, home of the 100% plant-based vitamins, herbs, cleanses, and teas. That is Brother Frank Stoner. We are here to help you live longer, feel better, and look great. Folks locally in Louisville, they are at 1806 Ralph Avenue. Their business hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Hit them up anytime. Again, healthdaddywow.net. And last but not least, we got Dr. Frank G. Simon, who is an immunologist and allergy specialist. So hit him up. Again, he is yet again another sponsor of the show, Dr. Frank G. Simon. You can look him up. He will prescribe you hydroxychloroquine or hydroxychloroquine for your COVID-19 needs. All right. So just look him up, Google Maps, all that good stuff. Next up, folks, we have an amazing guest here. And we reached out to this brother, John Ya. I want to give you a big shout out for reaching out and following up with this and helping to have this brother on the show. Folks, it is hashtag Ifatunde, Dr. Umar Johnson on the line with us today. How you doing there, brother? Good morning. Good morning. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Now, Dr. Umar, man, we first want to just thank you for showing up today. And I tell you what, you're actually going to be in Louisville. And that was yet again another reason why we wanted to have you on the show, outside of you being a powerful brother. But you have a new book that you're releasing. You're doing a book signing in Louisville. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. I will be in Louisville this Wednesday, February 24th from 2 to 8 p.m. at the Rooftop Grill, 414 Oak Street in Louisville, Black-owned restaurant. And it'll be a book signing and a special education driving clinic. But then visiting parents in Louisville, surrounding area, around the state of Kentucky, if they have any questions regarding the children related to education, mental health, and all things in between, they can stop by and get free consultation if they want to bring their paperwork, if they need to look at a psychological evaluation. They have learning disability questions, ADHD questions, IEP questions, evaluation questions, and anything in between. Dr. Umar will be there from 2 to 8 Wednesday.
Now, just to real quick, give the people a quick synopsis, all right, for those maybe out there in Radio Land that don't know, all right, because I've seen this brother on the Breakfast Club. I've seen this brother on your boy Roland Martin. I've seen this brother everywhere for some years, and we've been following you. And I tell you what, man, you're a powerful, powerful brother. But give him a quick synopsis of who you are, all them letters and stuff behind your name.
Absolutely. I'm a doctor of clinical psychology. My training is in cognitive behavioral therapy, so I evaluate and diagnose and treat mental illness. I'm a certified school psychologist. That is what I am most known for, school psychologist. We evaluate children. We decide who goes into special education. We're responsible for determining if the child has learning disability, emotional disturbance, intellectual disabilities, autism, and the list goes on. And it's our job to help children with certain problems learn better, the deaf kids, the blind kids, the brain injured kids, so on. I'm also author of Psychoacademic Holocaust, Special Education, and ADHD Wars Against Black Women. The new book is Black Parent Advocates, which I'll be releasing Wednesday in Louisville. The book is a reference guide for Black parents. What I find in advocating and consulting and supporting Black parents is they don't know how to respond to the school. When the school wants to expel their child, they don't know what to do. When the school wants to evaluate their child, they don't know what to do. It tells them medication or he can't come back, which is an illegal statement, by the way. They don't know how to respond. So my job is to help parents become responsible by giving them the tools. And Black Parent Advocate is just that. It is a collection of sample letters with background information on each topic that parents can duplicate. They can literally reproduce the letter that is in my book and submit that to the school. Our parents know their rights. They need to know laws that govern the school. They don't know it. That's why we have Black Parent Advocate.
Yeah, Dr. Umar, this is John. Yeah, thank you again for having you here and reaching out. I raised my daughter. I had custody of her, and she's 28 now. So, I wish I would have had a book like this and this information going back and forth to teacher parent meeting. Let me ask you a question. I remember when I was going to school, we had trades, we had carpeting, we had welding. Things to where when you got out of high school, you can just go get your job. I don't know what happened, but how can parents be aware of changes and be involved in those changes and have a say of those changes that are being made that will affect the Black community?
They have to go to the school board meeting. And one of the things that we have recent history at we have been known to do, and that is not be involved from an administrative and a systemic level. If you go to any school board meeting where the district is predominantly Black, you will see very few Black parents. We're not involved. That's where the decisions are made. That's where they decide. We're going to shut down. That's where they decide. We're going to hire. That's where they decide about the contract, the policy. And we are not here. Black parents are missing in action. Comes to school board decisions.
That's true. That's true.
With the climate that's going on and everything, parents are now seeming to be pushed to homeschooling. What advice do you have a parent who is interested or maybe thinking about homeschooling their child?
Great question. I actually have an entire chapter in the Black Parent Advocate for parents who are homeschooling their children. But a couple of points. Number one, right now you're forced to homeschool your child, so it's a little bit different because it's imposed on you as opposed to voluntarily going. Parents need to create an academic calendar. Homeschool going to run along the same calendar as public school, meaning you're August to May or September to June. Or are you going to have a year-round homeschool? The child simply takes maybe 1 or 2 off 3 or 4 times throughout the year. So you need to have the calendar, have your curriculum. What exactly do you want your child to learn? Math in the area of science, in the area of civics, and then all the extra things, Black history, African language, African martial arts. The thing about homeschool, whatever you like to. But I always caution parents, don't be overzealous because everything that you put within your curriculum, you have to teach. So you don't want to overstuff it and end up really not teaching your child how to master it. Because you're giving them a little bit of everything as opposed to a lot of 4 or 5 things. In addition to that, you need to find a coach, a teacher, a current teacher, another homeschooling who has been doing it for a while, coach you through it. Because one of the weaknesses of homeschooling, you don't have a principal. The teachers have a principal. The principal's job is to make sure the teachers are doing their job in the school. Homeschooling parents don't have a principal. We have a tendency to think that because it's our children, we're doing the right job. It's not necessarily the case. I've seen a lot of homeschooling parents mess up their child. The last one. The other piece is how long are you going to be homeschooling your child? This is very important. Are you going to be homeschooling until they graduate? Are you going to be homeschooling until high school? Are you only going to be homeschooling them for a year or two? And the reason why it's important for you to know how long you're going to be homeschooling is you have to make sure your child is grade level. So when you stick them back into public school, when you stick them back into charter school or private school, you want to make sure your child is still on grade level. I have homeschool horror stories where the child is homeschooled for years, didn't learn absolutely nothing because the parents don't life that when they went back to school, learning disabled or worse. Do not homeschool your child if you know you don't have time. Each person to be a homeschooling person is a disorganized person.
Wow. Wow. So this is deep when we talk about this. But I got a question, Dr. Umar, in a perfect world, let's just say a perfect Dr. Umar world, right? What would things look like? Meaning if you had the power to change things right now, snap your fingers and make it the way you want it, what would it look like for the people that you advocate for the most, our community?
Well, firstly, let's say, for example, if I was superintendent of Louisville Public Schools, the Philadelphia Public Schools, of any predominantly black public school system, but what I do, number one, I would return to the school all of the industrial building training program. Every high school will have carpentry, and I don't just mean it. I mean licensed level training programs so the child can license exam to be a plumber, to be a carpenter, to be a roofer, to be an electrician, to be a mason, any of that. I want to make sure that our children have the skills. The reason why our and girls, for that matter, are filling up America's prisons is because they no longer have the skills that they build. And that was something that America deliberately stripped the high schools of the building trade programs just before they began their mass incarceration program, just before they began their crack cocaine epidemic. They stripped the schools of the skills that pay the bills in the 1970s. In the 1980s, they dropped off the crack. In the 1990s, we got the Bill Clinton crime bill. I was the president. Dropped off the new faith-based initiative. And that's when the federal government started paying black churches to not fight for black people. And the very next decade, dropped off the genocide package. You need to be clear that every decade since Dr. King, the government has dropped a weapon of mass destruction on the black community. So I would put those skills back into the school. The second thing I would do is special ed. No new children will be put into special ed until all children in special ed are reevaluated by an independent outside psychologist to determine if they really need special education in the first place. Because most black children in America in special ed do not have a problem learning. They have they don't want to be bothered with them. They bend up, they falsify learning disabled classification to put that child out their class and throw them away in special ed jail. It would be a special ed moratorium. In addition to that, the classrooms would look like the teachers, would look like the children at the teachers. If that school is 85% black students, that school will be 85% black teachers. That school is 50% black students, that school will be 50% black teachers. It is an absolute crime. Our children are being taught by the people who care less about their academic futures.
That's deep. That's deep. Now, I got one more question. Do you ever get tired? Do you ever get tired? Because the ridicule is serious on both sides of the railroad tracks. So even from our own, when we out here trying to do stuff and better our people, the ridicule can be harsh. So do you ever get tired? Is there ever a time where you think like, you know what, dude, this year is gonna be the last year. I'm not doing this no more. Cause they ain't getting it and they ain't feeling me.
I would say white man is a military genius in that he created a Frankenstein complex in the Negroes, where we were psychologically alienated, not only from ourselves, but from working of our best interest. We are the only people of planet who will voluntarily work against the best interest of the community, and we don't even have to be paid to do it. The Negro is the greatest invention of racism, to create a totally different consciousness that in your victim, make your victim love it, and then make your victim go around destroying anything that is working for itself. And so when we look at the word coon, I say the word coon is an acronym, and that is the conscience of your oppressor operating inside of the Negro. That is what a coon is. And so when you understand the psychological Holocaust, see, the physical Holocaust may have ended in December of 1865 with the passage of the 13th Amendment, but the psychological Holocaust got worse. If you look at us and the way we think and behave as a people, it's only gotten worse years, and it's going to get worse than what it is, because any mental illness that goes untreated will get worse over time. So the lyrics in the music will get worse. The black abandonment of the black woman for the white woman is going to get worse. The black woman's intolerance of the black man is going to get worse. Black children, their education is going to get worse. The amount of money that we waste instead of building our own hospitals and supermarkets and banks, it's going to get worse. So when I look at the traction, I have to constantly put in context of the fact that our people don't know no better. We were taught to self-destruct, and the only way we're going to change that is by building schools for our children to create a new consciousness, to give birth to a new reality. That's why I'm building the Frederick Marcus Garvey Academy in Delaware. We have 2 schools. We got a smaller school, which is the Honorable Marcus Garvey building. I'm hoping that'll be ready for a grand opening community conference and festival this August.
Great. I was just going to ask you the status of the schools and what's going on with that.
Sure. We purchased 2 schools on February 7th, so 2 weeks ago marked our 2 years of ownership. Our biggest challenge when we purchased the schools, which are in excellent physical shape, by the way. The problem with the schools is that they were vandalized. The closing of the charter school, which they operated as, and our purchasing of the school during that time, broke in and they stripped the plumbing, they stripped the electric, they stripped the HVAC. So we had to get those 3 systems back together and get the heart, the brain, and even once we put the heart, the brain, and the kidney back in, body is beautiful, but it's physical work. It has to be done to the school. We just have to repair the system. So we had to get the drawings done all over, which we did. Then the biggest challenge we've had until now is, to be honest with you, raising up the money is to finding responsible, reliable black contractors with the industry. Because we could have come across people that tried to take advantage of us. We were overcharged. I mean, when they see Dr. Umar coming, it's a shame that our own people don't send us out this brother. Finish this school because it's for our children. He's not making any money off it. For the babies. They don't see that. All they see is dollar signs. And they're not cutting me any breaks on the price. They're not offering me any discount. And in many cases, they're overcharging me. So it's been a struggle to find people you can trust to work not overcharged. At that point, I'm going to be writing a book on the building of the school itself, because that is how much we have been through in these 2 years since we pushed the school. But with that being said, I can see the finish line now. Our electrical repairs are almost done. Our plumbing and HVAC repairs are going to be getting started soon. And there's still a strong likelihood that the elementary school, as well as the gymnasium, will be up and ready by the summer. So that's what I'm hoping for. I want this for anybody else was to get there, people to continue to donate to support the campaigns, and folks who want to support their Cash App at $FD. I repeat, that's $FD for your Cash App, or PayPal. You can use PayPal.me/FDNG Academy. If they want to mail in your donation, information is on my website. You can also register to be a loyal donor, which is an automatic donation and state every month. $50 for bronze, $100 for silver, $250 for gold, $500 for platinum, $1,000 automatic donation, which is diamond. But if they can't afford an automatic donation every month, just go to their PayPal, go to their Cash App, whenever they need to do so. And if they need to reach me, 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. And after this book signing on Wednesday, I'd like to come back to Louisville or Cincinnati, and I'll be in Cincinnati Thursday. You guys are first Cincinnati session, and I'd like to come back and host my 12-hour Black Parent Boot Camp, which is a scientific boot camp where we teach Black parents everything they need to know to protect their children. So the book signing is just the beginning. I do need to come back for the boot camp. I do need to come back for a lecture, because I must thank Louisville and the whole Kentucky, because I received lots of donations from Louisville and Kentucky. They have played a major role in the fundraising of SDNG. But not only that, Louisville is one of my largest support bases, and I owe Louisville an apology because I never mention them when people say, where do you get your biggest draw? And the reason I never mention them is purely due to a lack of memory, because New York and Detroit, Chicago and Houston and LA and DC, obviously those are the big cities. But my turnout in Louisville, I have never not sold out. Never. I have never done a lecture in Louisville where it was not jam-packed. So I gotta remember to add Louisville to the list, or charge it to my head and not my heart. Louisville is right up there when it comes to my major support.
And once again, it's F like Frank, D like Delta, M like Mary, G like go, and is it school with the S for the Cash App?
S for Frederick, D for Douglas, S for Frederick, D for Douglas, M for Marcus, G for Garvey, SDNG with the dollar sign is right. Dollar sign SDNG school on the Cash App, and they could also text me for it if they want. They could also text me for the flyer for Wednesday for folks who want to share that, because every parent needs to get that book, not just because I'm selling it, but they really need it. I'm very proud of this book, as much as I am of the first book, because it's the only thing of its kind in print for our parents. It's very important. We've had a lot of great Black psychologists. Dr. Amos Wilson, who I think is the greatest, not only Black psychologist, but Black scholar in modern times. We had this great Dr. Wilson, who was a psychiatrist. The great Garvey, Dr. Bobby Rush, Dr. Niles Akbar, Wade Phillips, and all these great Black psychologists. I am the first one. I am the very first one to give out parents a manual that shows them specifically, step by step, how to fight back against the psychoacademic holocaust, special education conspiracy, ADHD hustle.
You know, I really appreciate that. And real quick, I'm gonna give y'all a couple last words, John, y'all, and Johnny. But I can remember when I was a kid, seeing one of my partners in middle school always have to go to the nurse's office every day to go get his dose for ADD or ADHD, whatever it was. And I mean, I remember the zombie effect that it had on him. He was like a zombie throughout the day. And he had a couple special classes to go to. But I mean, when we would all kick it, hang out, he seemed fine. Everything was fine. But it's just, you know, they had him labeled like that. And it's tough. So this book right here is important. And it's a conversation that needs to be heard. So, definitely everybody needs to be out there at 414 Oak Street at the Rooftop Grill this Wednesday. And that's what, 2 p.m. Did I hear?
Yes, sir. 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. And if they have any special ed issues, mental health issues, if they think the child was misdiagnosed, Dr. Umar, it is ISP. The letter I just got. This is my child's last psychological. Do you agree with the formulation? So this is a time for them to hear you. This is the bottom line. After Wednesday, there should be no parent in Louisville who has an issue with their child, education, and mental health, who still has that issue after Wednesday. And you could have got the answer for free. That doesn't cost you anything to walk to the rooftop grill. There's no cost. All you have to do is walk in and present your paperwork, and I will help you. And that's why our parents at the top have to re-energize their interest in their child's education, because if we don't, it's going to only get worse. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to build our own. We can fight with the white folks. We can fight with the Louisville public school system. We can fight with the Kentucky State Department of Education. But let us be honest. Anything that we get through the schools is only going to be a Band-Aid. They're not giving out no solution. They can't give out solutions. The reason they can't give out solutions is public school for Black children must fail in Kentucky in order for white privilege to be protected. Let me say it. Black kids must be miseducated in order for white kids to maintain power. If you don't miseducate the Black kids, they are now prepared to challenge the white kids for political of Kentucky and the white power structure. Never. We have to build our own.
Absolutely. So we have to unlearn to relearn. That is absolutely. Now, real quick, we just got a few seconds left. Miss Johnny Rose, any last words?
Yes, my last words are, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Everyone how you say that.
All right. And Mr. John Yah, last words.
Dr. Umar, thank you so much for coming on and giving us and dropping those jewels on us. Definitely looking forward to the quick signing. I will do that.
All right, folks. We absolutely thank you, Dr. Umar, once again. Appreciate you. And listen, folks, this is another wrap up of the Tipping Point Show, and we will see you next week. All right, so right now we are continuing with the online here. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this. I'm gonna step out and step back in so that we can get our sound correct. Give me 1 second as we continue. All right, how y'all doing?
Good.
You there, Johnny?
Unmute yourself.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, I got you. You unmuted. Hey,
okay. Hey, what's going on?
All right. So, what y'all think about that?
Great.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Great interview. Great.
Absolutely. I tell y'all what, man. I'm always excited when we can have this conversation. And I know, there's the talk out there about saying the word Black, and all of that. Your boy is there, and he's talking that up. I get it. I understand. Not everybody is to the level of the use of that word or verbiage or what have you, and I get it. But ultimately, us as a people, again, we have to do better. And this is one way when we look at this book signing, being able to, you don't have to agree with everything a person does in order to work with them. In order to be on the same page with them, you don't have to agree with everything that they do. They say Dr. Martin Luther King, did some extramarital things and such like that. I mean, hell, they said the same thing about Jesus.
Right.
The Da Vinci Code and all this, that, and the other. But people worship Jesus all day long, and there's still that bit of smoke over there, right? So it's the same thing when you look at people like Dr. Umar and others that are out here trying to do some things to make things better for us as a people. So I'm with it when it comes to this new book. Did y'all catch the name of that new book again? I'm trying to
the Black Parent Advocate.
There we go. The Black Parent Advocate.
Yes.
So I think that's fantastic because again, it does touch on the issues with ADHD and all that attention deficit disorder and all that stuff. So I definitely think that that's something that we all need to look at. When y'all really think about what's going on today and how that plays a part, what's your thoughts?
It's very interesting that when it comes to the concerns of our people, there are so many traps and so many trigger words that triggers people's consciousness. Okay.
Now, one of y'all, real quick, one of y'all have the Facebook page in the background playing. I can hear it as an echo. So if you have it, then just hit the mute on that Facebook page. So it doesn't echo there, which is fine. But go ahead, John.
I'm just amazed that how we are as a people. We will nitpick the smallest thing against ourselves. It could be just a little pick, and that little nitpick, we will magnify that little bitty pick, and we will overshadow someone's work. We only do that to ourselves. We won't do that to our oppressors. We will, and he's got a huge thing. Look at the reason that we chose to elect Biden. So no matter how much we done already proved that this man's a racist, he done said it out of his mouth, call you predators, talk about locking you up, and black people will still go vote for him. When it comes to someone black, one little inch of something you don't like about this is the number one reason I never promoted my business on Facebook. Why? Because I know there's a lot of black haters out there that will use one little thing that I say they don't like. Even if I say, hey, Jesus is made up and is a tool for the white man to keep you enslaved. You would take that one little thing and overshadow my work that I would do for feeding my family. This is where we are as a people. We will tear each other down first.
That's deep. When you really think about that, we are our worst critics and our, we're the first ones to, and I guess a lot of it is just because it's been embedded in our brains that when it comes to black, it needs to be, I don't know. It's not good if it's black, I think that's embedded in our brains when it comes to that, and Frank, if you're watching, you said if the end game is the same, no problem. We all should try to get along. Elaborate on that for me, brother, and comment, or if you want to join us here, let me know. But elaborate on that.
Well, if the end game is to make us a better people, and that's not most of our end game, we are too busy attacking each other. It is as though as the mentality of I want you where I am, busted, disgusted, right? Broke, busted, and disgusted, and have nothing to offer. We want everybody else like we won't support. Hey, listen to this. We won't even share a Facebook page of somebody else trying to do something. We take that little damn free button, that little damn free button. We won't share the content. We won't even do it. We won't really try to help. I mean, I can look at this page right here. How many people sharing this page? How many people you know personally that won't touch that little button that says share because they don't want your content on their page? That is a form of that hate, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Little bitty thing, man. Little bitty thing we will find to dislike and disappoint. So I remember I've learned this concept, and I've been in business for 20 years. And I tried to make a black product. I tried to make a product that had the images of red, black, and green. But I got so much hate. If I use red, black, and green, which is the Pan-African colors, those who was Muslims didn't like it. Those who was Moors didn't like it. Those who was Christians didn't like it, and they wouldn't buy the product, right? And so I said this, which was, I tell everybody else in business, if I do business seminars or I'm talking to someone in business, don't focus on creating a black product. Focus on creating a quality product. Because here's why. If you buy from me because I'm black, that is charitable. What you're saying is, yeah, brother, I'm buying from you because you're black. That's charitable. Yeah. You're mad at being black. You ain't buying black no more, you see? But if you're buying my product because it's quality, I'm going to maintain you as a customer regardless of the color of my skin.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. No, that's right.
That's
absolutely.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, I definitely agree because if you're buying from me because I'm black, then as soon as I say something that don't sound black enough for you, then all of a sudden, you out, and that's not real business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And but what's interesting too, what I thought was interesting is Doc said that, when it comes to the school, they've run into a lot of, I guess, shady black business owners when it comes to the work to be done. But, again, we talking about the last 10 to 20 years, actually, where they've taken a lot of these trades out of the schools. Yeah. You don't have that training. I remember when I was younger, home ec was a thing, so I think probably home ec for me as a chef was one of the first things that made me, realize that there was something more to this thing that I like to do at home called cooking, and I went to home ec. I'll be honest, I went to home ec because I knew it was going to be girls in there. So, that's my honest truth. But at the same time, when this pillow over here, the seams rip, guess who's sewing it? I am. Because I know how, through the years, the ability to pick up a thread and needle has helped me tremendously, to be able to take care of my own stuff. So, we need to get back to those trades in school. And if they are not going to do it in the public school system, then guess what? We need to do it within our own school systems, because again, for us, when you look at outside of what was that? Killer Mike said it was, recent years after slavery or was quote unquote abolished. It was the black people who were the tradespeople, and we were doing good years in those recent years after, because we were the ones who did the welding. We were the ones who did all of the building and such like that. We built the White House. We did all of these things, and they were skill sets that allowed us to say, okay, yes, sir, I'm going to go ahead and fix this for you, sir. And then this is the cost that it's going to be, sir. You know what I mean? We were able to start businesses in order to do that and actually create those Black Wall Streets across the United States of America. And, little by little, those Black Wall Streets were torn down. And I'll say there's some of us who we're responsible as well because we sold out. I was for 4th of July last year, I was in Jacksonville, Mississippi. And we're driving around, and my boy was telling me, he was like, yeah, this spot right here, all this right here used to be owned by Black people. All this right here used to be owned by Black people. But there's a whole plethora of residential area that is all now currently still owned by Black people. But I was like, what happened to all the Black businesses? And we realized they sold out. They sold their businesses and the land that it was on, and they sold that out in order to focus on purchasing real estate and such. So there are a lot, especially when you go down to a lot of the sticks in different areas. You go down to Dyersburg, Tennessee. You know, I got some family out there who they own a bunch of acreage out there, and the family goes there every year to enjoy themselves and whatnot. They got they got the cemetery where all the families buried. You know, they own a plethora of land. I think it's only in the city where we are sitting around talking about no land ownership and such. Because when I go out to the sticks, Black people out there own a plethora of land.
Right.
For real.
Of course.
You know, but the one commonality that I see is that we sold out when it came to business. We let them businesses go instead of doing what they do on the other side of the railroad tracks, because they know the worth is they keep passing that stuff down in the family, because that cash cow is going to keep creating wealth for the family. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we need to get back to, is being able to take our businesses, pass them down to our kids. That should be more of the purpose of you trying to have children, so that you can pass down your businesses to them, or whether you sell it, you create some other type of wealth, reoccurring wealth for them, generational wealth for them along the way. Johnny, what is on your mind when we start talking about this subject of, you know, what's going on today with the kids and you know, this new book coming out with Dr. Umar? You know, what's your thoughts on we as a people and how all that plays a part?
Okay, so my thoughts on we as a people is, when are we going to move forward? We continue to talk about the same exact thing. When are we going to actually move forward? Because the same talk is old at this point. Like, what can we do now to move forward into the future? How can we get the youth thinking differently than what we had to think? Like, is there any solution that we can come up with now? Anything?
Definitely.
You know? Because
I think this book is definitely a good step forward. Because this is going to give the parents, you know, a little more direction, just the same. You know, I would tell personally, for me, what helps me move forward on a day-to-day basis is my belief in a higher power, my understanding of the power that I have engulfed in me as a person, from that higher power and that ability to move forward within my own life. You know, I'm taking responsibility for me. I'm not perfect. I know personally, you know, I got to eat at my own table a lot of time, you know, but I will admit that. And, you know, when y'all see me posting stuff about wealth and this, that, and the other, hey, I'm out here trying to get it. So I'm just sharing it as I learn it. But what were you ready to say, John?
You know, in my business journey, you were speaking about something that was Dr. Umar was talking about, is finding quality workers. You can have all the attention to try to use someone Black in your business. You can find that's great intentions. But let me tell you something about the universe. The universe don't give a damn what color you are. Let me explain that to you when I say that shit. So, you know, when I manifest something, when I begin to think of something, I want to see who shows up. It doesn't matter. The universe don't do this color thing, man. So here I was. I had 1 year, I had no air conditioning in my building. And my guys back there, we was back in the back sweating. And so I had this brother come and wouldn't come on time, wouldn't show up. And I went days trying to stick with somebody Black. And here come a white boy riding past my building that had on his thing, air conditioning repair. I ran out there and flagged him down. I said, man, I need air conditioning. See, this is how the universe works, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's there 9 o'clock in the morning. You know what? He was there at 9:01. Right. See, so we can't sit around. You can't, if you want something in life, you gotta be able to accept what the universe sends to you. We gotta get out of this concept. If you want success, I do business in China, I do business in India, I do business in Taiwan. And I don't ask. I do business with custom brokers. I don't know no black custom brokers that can contact companies in China for me and can arrange my shipment to come through the port and which port it's gonna come through. So you have to have a broader vision. You got to get out of the concept of thinking I can only spend my money with black people. No. I do business with Arabs. I do business with Pakistanis. Let me tell you what I do when I go into a store. One of my successes is this. You got to learn how to serve. You got to learn how to get beneath the person you're trying to serve and move your ego out the way. Because when you do that, that is the way you come off from under service with someone, right? If you're a burger flipper, flip the best burger you can flip. And chances are you're going to be a manager burger flipper. And then maybe
a little swag on it. Swag on that flip. You know what I mean? Flip that burger, like, flip that burger. Hey, I'm with it.
So one of the things I began to realize was my passion. My passion was, if anybody knows me personally, they know that I am very charitable with my money and my services, right? So what I've learned was this. As a salesperson, I had to look at it as when I'm selling something to somebody, what is it that they want? I had to look at what they want, not what I want. What is it that they want? So when you're doing business from a salesperson to a customer, that's one thing. When you're doing business from a salesperson to another salesperson, they want money. So the thing I would come in is that how can I make you money? How can I make you some money? So I go in with how much markup they can get from my products. It was called guerrilla marketing. I sell low.
Hey, listen. When it comes to that guerrilla marketing, I just want you to know, don't spray it on your head. It's not good. Don't spray guerrilla marketing on your head.
So I have realized that the way I got in so many stores, because I went in with the concept, how can I help you make money? This is why when you go in stores, you see my product in the impulse aisle, up front, on the countertop, right? All over in my 400 and something stores, you see success where my products are selling very well. I put my heart and soul into my product. This is why my product sells so well, mostly amongst black people. Most black people don't even know it's a black product, right? So, and I don't care if they know it or not, because I'm not trying to advertise that I'm black. I just want success. Success shouldn't have any colors. And here's the key to success. Success ain't what you achieve. Success is having an ideal and an intent and aggressively going after it. That is success. And a lot of people don't carry that mantra, that understanding in order to accomplish success.
You're right. You're right. You know, and I think that people have the wrong idea about success, you know, but you're right. And one of the things that I learned, you know, as I listen to a lot of the great speakers out there and successful speakers out there, is that just what you said, success is creating a goal and going after that, you know, and achieving that, you know. So what you talking about there, Miss Johnny?
Okay, so I want to also say that I feel like a lot of people place success upon race, like black, white. Like, people need to stop putting a color on success. It's okay to be successful any color that you are. We do not have to continue saying or treating black people a certain way. We treat ourselves so disrespectful. We can see someone out here who's of our race in our community, you know, making it and succeeding, and it's like, oh, look at them. But if we see our counterpart, it's like, oh, I'm rooting for you. Let's go. You can do it. Like, we need to quit putting a certain color on race and making it seem like we need to quit being crabs. What is it? Crabs in a barrel?
Crabs in a bucket.
Yeah, it's all.
Crabs in a bucket, or you know, on you know, Black Sunday is crabs in a pot. You know.
Yeah, what's next though? Like,
things and eating things up.
Like, I don't think people understand that it's your thoughts. Like, we need to start talking instead of the community always talking about, well, I need help, or they didn't help me, or we're not, instead of us comparing all of us to our counterparts, we need to start talking about, like, how can we manifest something new? Like, what is the next step? What are you visualizing for yourself? Why do we continue to go back 400 years? Why are we still talking about putting Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill? Like, what's next?
I mean, these are all distractions, though. These are all distractions.
They're distractions, but can we talk about what could possibly be next? Like, what do you see for yourself in the next 5 years? We talk about the youth and things, but it's like, okay, so if we go to the youth and within the community, what are we going to talk to them about? Are we going to talk to them about seeing something and visualizing themselves, or are we going to continue to talk about, oh, what was me? And
that's what I think is important about the conversation here is being able to talk about these things. Because again, John, you hit the nail on the head. Visualization, speaking things into people really don't realize how powerful that is. If you continue to sit back and talk about your bills and woe is me and how much money you don't have, guess what? That will continue to be the case.
And if you continue to put your power outside of yourself, praying to something that's outside of yourself, let's give the focus on ourselves and our power. We got to, as a community, you see me keep doing this, but as a community that really isn't together, like, when are we going to stop putting our power into something outside of us that doesn't even represent us? Like, when are we going to stop that? It's so old,
You're right. Yeah. And I mean, it starts with your mouth, and that's what people do not realize is it starts right here, because all your brain does every day is do or enact what it sees on the subconscious mind. That's all it does. That's what it does every single day. So if you are sitting here speaking every time, and again, we can get biblical for the people that needs to get biblical. Y'all know right there in the Bible, it says, as a man thinketh. So they talk about as a man speak, all those universal principles, this all came from right there. When you start talking as a man thinketh, as a man speaketh, folks, the power of life and death is in the tongue. That is all talking about what you say. You have to guard the words that are coming out of your mouth, because when you speak it, as soon as you speak it, I'm to the point now where if I speak it and it is something damaging, then right then and there, I say, no, go back and I fix that speech. Because I'm telling you, my life, as I've seen it, especially 2020, really exposed a lot of things. And man, if I'm sitting there feeling a certain way, if I'm feeling negative or this, that, man, I get more of that. But if I'm feeling positive, and sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, I get more of that positivity. I challenge anyone who is not as strong of a believer in that, take a week and just be intentional with the things that you say. Right. Just 1 week. Be intentional with the things that you say. Go ahead, Johnny.
Let me add on to that. It is speech, but at the same time, speech, language, it's dead. It doesn't matter. It's your vibration. At the end of the day, you can say what you want to say, but it's your vibration. The words people are really set on, well, your words have meaning. No, if I give those words meaning, then they have meaning. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can call a woman the B word. And if I'm like, oh my God, you just called me the B word, don't call me that again. That's horrible. Then it makes me feel some type of way. But if I'm like, oh, okay, it's what you give it. It's about your vibration. It's not about the language. Like, language is dead. Language is the lowest form of communication. It's vibration.
So when you're speaking to yourself, which is why affirmations are so important, then as you speak to yourself, putting the feeling behind it is the most important thing. What do you say on that one there, John?
That's the frequency, the feelings behind it. And it's very interesting because let me say this, and this is one of the number one issues, and it's an individual thing. And I say that you can't bring nothing to the table collectively if you have a poor spirit individually. So the problem is that we need to learn how to see abundance and beauty and where we are. I don't care if you got one pair of shoes. You should see beauty and abundance in it. You should see beauty and abundance in your heart beating, your brain thinking, you breathing, right? Your blood flowing. If you start
just being thankful for that.
If you start with that abundance, if you start seeing that as abundance and beauty, the universe opens the door for you. But if you do not see that, that is the first catalyst of woe me. And the universe is only going to match it. If you are feeling broke, if you are feeling sad or depressed, universe matches it. It don't care what color you are or what you think. It says, okay, you feel woe, I'm gonna give you more woe. Okay, you feel sad about your one pair of shoes. Well, I'm gonna take those shoes from you and make you walk barefoot and make it even worse for you, because that's what we're signaling. The signal is not so much as the thought, it is the feeling behind the thought. Universe reads vibration. It doesn't read words. Words help you create the feeling and the vibration, but it's the vibration that the universe reads. And if you begin to send out abundance, I have abundance, I am great, boom, the universe says, okay, you are great, and it'll match you. If you ever had a situation to where you thought of something or thought of somebody, or thought of something you wanted to learn and know, and it popped up in your face, that's because you send the signal that that's what you wanted, and the universe sends it to you. That's how it works. So if you're mad and angry, universe sends you more madness. If you're depressed and you're feeling lack, and you could be standing somewhere and you're feeling lack, and you will feel somebody else talking about lack. Why? Because it resonates with what you already feeling. Like, hey, I feel lack too. I don't have either. So black people, period. Poor people hang with poor people. Poor people resonate with poor people. Why? Because it's a resonate. It's an agreement. You broke, I'm broke. Let's hang out. Let's do something, right? And that's what broke people.
And then you look sideways at the person that walks in the neighborhood with the suit on that's looking successful.
Right, exactly.
Do you know how many times, and y'all know, and it's been a minute since I've been traveling. It's been a minute since I've been in a suit. But man, do y'all know I'd sit there and go walk in what's that? The Hilltop, that hood over there, Park Hill, right, bro? Yeah, I walk in there with a suit on, and they hit me up. I mean, grown old women walking by. Are you the police? Are you serious? Like, I got to be the police because I got a suit on. You know what I mean? So, y'all resonate with each other so much in your poverty mindset that you see somebody, one of us, with a suit on, looking like success, and all of a sudden that person is a narc. That person, and I bruh, even when that happened to me, bruh, I had to shut that lady up, because I'm sitting here in the hood, she's over here yelling, he's a narc. We ain't about to, because this jacket right here is covering up something, and don't be trying to you know what I mean? So it's just kind of crazy when it comes to that, man. I hate that we think like that. I remember walking in the park. Y'all know the Big Four Bridge. Walk across to the Indiana side. Little 8-year-old little brother. I don't know how old he was. It was like 8-10 years old, something like that. But a little young brother sitting there looking at me because I'm taking a walk. I came right from work, met some people there, and I took my suit jacket off, but I still got on my tie. I got it loosened up, and button-down shirt tucked in with the slacks. Little man is like, "Oh, are you a DEA agent?" Man, like, that's the only thing when it comes to somebody of what you've seen that looks like you in a shirt and tie. You think DEA agent. You can't think
What?
life insurance salesman.
That's
You ain't
crazy.
thinking financial advisor, broker, and all of this stuff. No, which is the industry that I'm in. But you're not thinking that. You think DEA agent.
Yeah.
So our mindset, and I mean, again,
It's
what we're
horrible.
watching on TV, what we let these kids watch, that stuff is powerful, and it embeds certain things into our brain. John, you talk about that a lot in the early years of your life and what you saw growing up, which led you to the life that you had before. And then utilizing that visualization and understanding how that works to create the life that you have now. So, and that's why I love your story. I think it's an extremely powerful story. I've seen brothers come out of that the same way and create success in their lives. I know one brother who 17 years old, he was hanging around with the big OGs, and he did 25 years because the big OGs convinced him to go do something that he shouldn't have did, but he was looking up to them and he was trying to please them, and he went and shot somebody and did 25 years off that. And here he is from 17, and now 25 years later, out here focusing on creating success for himself, which is great. But I mean, dude, you missed 25 years.
25 years.
That's deep, but it's just, we have to focus on the things that are going into our subconscious, things that are going into our mind, which I believe what the subconscious is. That's the mind. And because whatever is sitting there on that mirror, on that window, on that movie screen, in the subconscious, the brain is just going to act that out. So if your self-image is of you as a wannabe thug, then your brain is going to act that out and have you emulating that image. So it's important that we focus on self-image, because that's the thing that we haven't been paying attention to over all these years, that they keep pandering us over to the Democratic Party.
But have we not been paying attention to it though? Because self-image is very big within the community. So we pay attention to it, but just
but not correctly. I mean, we
of course not.
I mean, our self-image, we don't see ourselves as business people, as financial gurus, as scientists, as mathematicians. Math and science, I would say, would be two of the greatest things that you could take your kids and make them. And again, I said be intentional. A lot of us, we kind of have this thing where we just raise our kids and we say, oh, I just want them to explore and do. Whereas you go across the world, on the other side of the world, in China, they're being intentional with their kids and saying, you are going to learn this math and you're going to be a great mathematician. You are going to learn this science and you're going to be a great scientist. These people coming out being biochemists and this, that, and the other, while we over here saying, I'm just gonna let the kids just, let them explore and do what they want. No, being intentional is important so that you can direct your kid. Yeah, you let them explore, but you let them explore within the walls of what you create for them. So
like not changing their gender. I mean, I just had to bring that up because
you're right.
He, she, who, what, when, he, she, where.
I'm saying we have to allow the kids. I don't have kids. For all you listening, and I don't have kids, but we want to give kids the ability to be creative so that they don't become 30, 50, and 60 and are stuck. But what is giving your kids the ability to be creative versus being intentional? You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I like the comment here that Jasmine said, math, science, and money management. But what you said, Joe, is very interesting. And of course, in China, they don't have the TV airwave frequency that is bringing information into their children's head either. See, what parents do today, and I want to talk about Black parents,
they're lazy.
Americans, whatever we do, whatever we want to call ourselves. We put our kids in front of the television and we leave them there because we really don't want to be bothered, as long as they're watching TV. And we don't understand the commercials that are being fed to them. We don't understand the subliminal messages in the shows that they're watching. When people put a movie together, and do you know there are subliminal messages in these movies? There are subliminal messages in these cartoons. Back in the day, Disney used to put, and I don't know, they probably still do, put sex images in the back of Mickey Mouse. You will see a penis, a shape of a penis. You will see a shape of a vagina in the commercial. I mean, inside the cartoon. No, really. What was they were putting sex ideals in children through subliminal message. Listen, this white man knew the concept of the brain. And we are just been so dumbed down. It's not that he is smart. It's that we have fallen so low that he looks smart. And when I studied marketing, I saw nothing but psychology on how to get a product stuck in someone's head. What I've learned was this, and I use it in my own product and it worked. When I came up with Saya Baba, when you look at that spelling, if you see something, the first thing you say is, what's that? Like, let me give you a real example. Soap sticks. So I have displays called soap sticks. And people say, well, why do you call it soap sticks? So I can plant something in your brain. Because soon as you ask, what is that? Guess what? It's already now planted there, right? And if you keep seeing it, you're going to eventually pick it up or realize, oh, this is an incense. Once you smell it, you're going to take it home. This is how they plant information in your head. So how you brand something. When you talk branding means how do I brand that in your brain? That you take it home with you and think about it. You don't even think about it. It's actually just there. So in a sense, as parents, no, we do not have intention for our children. We don't know how to look at their character and say, wow, you talk a lot. You're going to be a lawyer. Wow, I see you picking up these toys and taking it apart. You're going to be a scientist. And gear them towards in that direction. Oh, I see you drawing. You're going to be an artist. Let me help you be that artist. And we don't do it that way, right? We'll send our kids over another parent's house who have no discipline, and they will get whatever they get from that home, and they'll bring it in. One of the things about my story that I had to learn from was that my father, at 4, 5, 6 years old, allowed me to stay up late watching gangster movies with him. I didn't know. I was just with my father. I wasn't knowing what I was really watching: the killing, the kidnapping, the robberies, the scams. When my father died at 13 and my mind went into that mode, it triggered back to those certain triggers. So it was easy for me to murder. It was easy for me to rob. It was easy for me to kidnap and think nothing of it. And my mother and my aunties and them, I was the only one doing this. They would say, what's wrong with you, boy? I didn't know what was wrong with me. So we'll whoop a child saying, boy, what's wrong with you? And we'll whoop him, but we fail to recognize you the one put that in their brain. You let them watch television. They got
that's the thing that trips me out about a lot of parents who
no accountability.
Be out there, or even in their younger years, they done did this, that, and the other. They was out there in the streets raising this kid at the same time and doing all that they were doing around their kids, smoking weed. Their kids know, doing this, that, and the other in the kids' faces. And then later, when the kid grows up and is doing all pretty much that same stuff, and now they're doing it even worse, because things happen exponentially, then now you want to say something to your kids because you done now got yourself saved and sanctified, and now you want to say something to your kids about what they doing, and you ain't even bringing up the fact, you ain't even addressing the fact that you the one that planted that there.
Right.
Because they're saved and sanctified now, so doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, that's how that go.
Yeah.
You need to get to church. Well, what did you need to do when we were younger? Exactly. That's it right there, Jazz. As you said, the parent is getting out what they put into the child. So that's exactly right.
But at the end of the day, the child is still suffering. Like it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? The child is the one who suffers at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, so it
Horrible.
has to be a thing where we are intentional. People need to stop being, your kid is 18, 19, and you at the club with them. I mean, come on, bro, stop. Stop. That's not cool. That's not cool. I done been to I done been to Cedar Street, and that's what I done been to Cedars and people's grandmas, mamas, and kid, all three generations right there in the same spot hanging out. That's crazy.
It's deep.
It's crazy to me. I didn't synced it. But look, man, I'm gonna tell anybody out there if as you're watching, definitely scroll back on this show. We had Dr. Umar call in 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. He called in, and that was a nice half hour, 20 minutes worth of talking to him. So definitely rewind and replay the show after we end it and check that out.
If you are a parent, you should get that book.
Absolutely. And give the name of that book again.
The Black Parent Advocates.
Absolutely.
And some of y'all hate the word black, but that's a trigger word. Move away from the trigger and get the jewels. Just move away from the trigger and get the jewels.
There you go. That's a good way to say it. Move away from the trigger and get the jewels. Because you're right. A lot of people will get stuck on one thing. I remember Deepak Chopra said something powerful. He said, so even if you are a believer in the idea that there was a God and then a son that came to the earth that died for our sins, nonetheless, there's power in the statement he made. He said, Jesus came back to point us back to the Father, and we got stuck focusing on his finger, which I think is powerful because again, you're I think looking within yourself to find a connection spiritually. Most people that I talk to, my dad and many others included, who used to be fire and brimstone in the church, preaching this, that, and the other, or were just participants preaching in church. Most of them that have stepped out of the church and started to focus and research spirituality outside the church have a greater connection with a spiritual movement between them and their creator. They have a much greater connection. Religion to me is just formalities. And I think that has played a part in how we do things, because people say, I can go out and I can do this crazy stuff and then just ask for forgiveness later and I'm all good. And so that's the same thing people are doing in their household as they sit there and do all this nonsense, raising kids at a young age. And then they grow up and decide that they are saved and sanctified and now they're good or whatever. And so again, it all is connected. It all plays a part. I think the biggest thing is for people to get out here and start to look and research when it comes to learning oneself.
That's all that matters at the end of the day. It's yourself.
Yeah, figure out what makes you tick, and be intentional with your words so that you can move forward in life. Tell yourself every day, walk in that mirror and say, yo, I'm beautiful. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. Today is going to be an amazing day. Today is my friends joke with me because my pops at a young age had me doing this. And when I would, rent apartments, me and my buddies growing up as teens, I would wake up in the morning and run around the crib and I would say, today is going to be a great day. Today is going to be a great day. And I used to do that in teenage years. And my friends would laugh at me and stuff, but understanding the true meaning behind it was powerful. It was powerful because it always invigorated my spirit. It always made me feel that I could take on the world. So I tell you what, I'm gonna be intentional. And I'm gonna admit that right now. I'm gonna start doing that again. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and I'm gonna clap and I'm gonna say, today is gonna be a great day. Today is gonna be a great day. Today is gonna be an awesome,
clapping is a
amazing
vibration.
day.
Clapping
Exactly.
is an extra vibration.
Exactly.
So yeah, you should
I'm
do
doing
it.
that.
Yeah.
So that's my new thing right now. That's what I got out of this today. Any last words before we shut this down?
Yeah. Let me say this. We as a people love challenges. So those who are listening, I challenge you to start buying black. I challenge you to get along with each other. I challenge you, stop hating on your own people. I challenge you to learn to support one another. I challenge you in that. And first and lastly, see abundance in where you are. See abundance in what you see in the mirror when you wake up, without the makeup, without all the perm and all that. See abundance in yourself first. See abundance in that and work with that. Other than that, that is the most powerful statement I could make, because here's why. If you have gratitude and sadness, gratitude and depression cannot set in the space of your brain at the same time. It's impossible. So have gratitude, have gratitude, have gratitude.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in agreement with that.
Mhm.
Johnny, anything you want to say before we sign out?
Yes, so I want to just say something about the power of emotions. So just everyone who's tuning in and listening, always remember, when we suppress an emotion, we actively force the energy in motion down into ourselves. So we are restricting our flow. Illness is created when you don't allow emotions to flow. Get out, go work out and exercise, do something. Don't let the energy just set in. That's all I need to say.
Absolutely. It's powerful. And I'm gonna just say one last thing before we go. I just want to say one last thing, and I want y'all to hear it. So everybody just listen up real quick. All right. See who got their listening ears in. All right. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure that all right. So I want y'all to hear something real quick before we go. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I want y'all to hear one thing. Just one thing. I think y'all know what it is. I'm trying to get rid of some of this other stuff going on. Okay. All right. So here it is. Before we go, y'all, I want y'all to hear this one thing.
That's a good one.
The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yap, and that woman on a mission, Johnny Rose. Right here on WLOU. Streaming live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And the Tipping Point Show.
I just love it. I just love it. So y'all rewind the show so y'all can hear this from the beginning and check out Dr. Umar
and share it.
Yeah, and share it as much as you can. For anybody out there, man, just share it as much as you can. I want to give a shout out to Yasmin Rhodes for tuning in. She definitely supports us. Vicky Cobble, man, appreciate you for tuning in. Entre Caples, appreciate you for tuning in. Mr. Frank Stoner, yet again, another supporter of the show. Looks like already somebody is like, man, I got to get with Health Daddy Wow after they heard our commercial there earlier about his business. So again, healthdaddywow.net, right? And yeah, Mr. Frank Stoner, appreciate you for tuning in, brother. Mishaw and T. Daniels, appreciate you for tuning in. Even Antonio T. May Taylor, appreciate you for tuning in. Man, it's just been a great show today. Today was our first kickoff for the show. William Mansfield, appreciate you for tuning in. Phyllis Churchill Myers, appreciate you for tuning in with us today. We appreciate everybody that steps in with us and enjoys the show. So y'all can see us actually every week now on the Tipping Point Show. And again, you can listen to that. We're hitting over 100,000 listeners at 104.7 FM, which is WLOU, which you can stream that, WLOUonline.com, or you can also hit us up here at the Tipping Point Radio Show Facebook page, right? And, hey, if y'all want to support us, then, you can Cash App the Tipping Point Radio Show, which I think we're getting ready to get changed to the Tipping Point Show. But y'all can Cash App us all day long. Even 50 cent, 50 cent, if I can get 100,000 people to Cash App 50 cent, then that $50,000 will help. Because here's the thing, there's a lot of things we want to do to support. We got some contests right now. You're looking at people focused on health and wellness. And so all of us have something going on in the health and wellness industry. So we got some contests that'll be coming up here shortly where we're going to be giving away some stuff on the show. All right. So we'll talk to y'all later, and y'all have a wonderful day. This is Mr. Just Ask Joe and
John Yaw
and
Johnny Rams
signing out on the Tipping Point Show. Y'all be easy.
All right.
Bye.